This is 6.5 part 2. We're going to finish up the remaining problems. So we had finished off question 2 over here. We were looking at A. We had to find that the vertex lies above, below, or on the x-axis, and so there's 2 steps essentially. You need to first of all find your A to know what the opening is, the direction of the opening. Is it upwards or downwards? And then we need to find a discriminant to see how many real roots there are. And so we found that our discriminant was larger than 0 in this case, and so what that means is there's 2 real roots. And so if a parabola opens upwards and there's 2 real roots, it means that the parabola has to cross the x-axis at some point, which means that the vertex can't be above. If it was above, well, you'd have a situation like this, and you wouldn't have 2 real roots. And it can't be below either. Well, I mean, it should be below, because that's where it opens above, and it keeps going up, and then eventually will cross the x-axis, so you can have the 2 real roots. Let's try another example like that here. So of course, when you're done this, you would write down a therefore statement. So you would write down that there are 2 real roots, the parabola opens upwards, therefore the vertex must lie below the x-axis. Let's try this one here. So same idea. Our first step is looking at our A value. So our A is equal to 5. Equal to 5, which means that the parabola opens upwards. Opens upwards. So we have something like this, and we want to find if this vertex is basically above or below, so above or below the x-axis. So to do that, we need to find our discriminant. That's basically our step 2. Find the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. So our a is 5, our b is negative 30, our c is 35. So that's going to be d is equal to b squared, which is negative 30 squared, minus 4 times 5 times 45, and that's going to be d is equal to 900 minus, so it's going to be minus 4 times 5 times 45 minus 900. Which means 0. So d is equal to 0. When d is equal to 0, that means 1 real root. And so what you know from this is that if there's 1 real root, that 1 real root has to be on the x-axis. And there's 2 possibilities of where it could be. Because it opens upwards, it could be, the parabola could be over here, and that should be touching the x-axis, or over here, touching the x-axis, like that. If it opened downwards, well, it would be the other way around. It would be in one of these quadrants here, but still touching the x-axis at only one spot. So again, you would write a therefore statement saying, because d is equal to 0, there is 1 real root. This means that the vertex is on the x-axis. And so you want to explain this information using your discriminant information and using the opening of your parabola. So now we're going to go and try question number 3. For what values of k does this equation have 2 real roots? So first of all, let's write down some information. We know that to have 2 real roots, your b squared minus 4ac must be larger than 0. Currently, our a is 3, our b is 7, and our c is k. And we want to know what value this k has to have for our discriminant to be larger than 0. So let's go ahead and calculate our discriminant based on the information that we have. So we know that the discriminant, d, is equal to, so b squared, which is 3 squared, minus 4 times, oops, sorry, that's not b, that was a by accident, so let's go and erase that. So our b is 7, minus 4 times 3 times k, which is our c value. So let's continue to solve that. So d is equal to 49 minus 12k. And here's what we know. We want 2 real roots. 2 real roots. Therefore, we want 49 minus 12k to be larger than 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve for k. We're going to do 49 minus 12k is equal to 0. And we're going to get negative 12k is equal to negative 49. We're going to divide by negative 12 here, and divide by negative 12 here as well. And we'll get k is equal to, so let's do 49 divided by 12, 4.08. So what does that mean? Well, if our k value, if our c value is 4.08, then 49 minus 49 would give us 1 real root. If our k value is larger than 4.08, you're going to have 49 minus a number bigger than 49, so 49 minus 50. Then that'll give us 1, and that'll give us no real roots. So what that means is that our k value needs to be smaller than 4.08. Because 12 times anything smaller than 4.08 will be smaller than 49, which means 49 minus something smaller than itself will give you something larger than 0. So it's like saying 49 minus 48 is 1, which is larger than 0. 49 minus 47 is 2, which is larger than 0. So any number smaller than 4.8 is the value of k that you can put here to have 2 real roots. If I had asked you instead, what if I want to only have 1 real root? Well, in that case, you can pause the video and think. You would have instead said you want your k to be equal to 4.08, because a k equal to 4.08 would result in 49 minus 49, which is 0. And if I instead had said have 1 real root, or sorry, no real roots, I should have said, so let me rephrase myself. So to have 1 real root, you want k is equal to 0, you want k is equal to 4.08, so that when you do 49 minus 12 times 4.08, you get 0, that's 1 real root. If you wanted no real roots at all, no real roots, you would have said k is, pause video, think, larger than 4.08, because that would result in a negative number. You'd have 49 minus, let's say, 50, a negative number there. So you get negative 1, and that would not be possible. So it all depends on the question that we're asking. Whenever we ask you for the number of solutions or zeros, just know that we're asking really for the discriminant. And whenever we're asking questions like this, where we want you to tell us if the vertex is on, above, or below the x-axis, and you have some equation, and you have an equation like this, you can use your discriminant form to figure that out based on the opening as well. So again, as you can see, we learned a little bit more about the forms of parabolas, the equations, and what different pieces of information can tell us about what the parabola looks like and where it's located to help sketch it.